Yo, Foul Hooked Whitey is back, and so is my esteemed partner, the great Brandon Booty.
What up? What up? We're here.
Booty.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Glad to be back.
It's good to have you here. I mean, Jesus, I said it last time you were here. You know, manning the ship alone was fucking, straight in the gutter, straight in the gutter, and straight down in the fucking ratings.
I think I would have a hard time talking to no one.
Well,
it'd be like awkward for me.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up because it's not easy. But the reality of it is that you can do it if you have something to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
If you have something to say, you gotta fucking a point of rock to stand on. I mean, it's easier, right? Yeah. Speaking of not easy, Fly Fishing Nielsen ratings came in, and we fucking dropped again. Down to 25 listeners. We're down to 25 listeners, and I know for a fact that, one of those listeners is a So, so that takes... Shit, I'm going to have to cut that out.
That could be a good thing. I mean, they don't have a reason to listen no more, right?
Well, I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, all right? But I bet they're listening. So anyway, so we're down to 25, 23 really. And we got to fucking jack this up. I mean, what is it? Is it the content? Tell me.
I don't know.
Yeah, you liking it.
We'll jack it back up.
Right,
people are going to have to get their, when the cold weather hits, they're going to have to get their fishing fix somehow.
Well, and how about this fall we're having? I mean, this is as nice as it's been, right? I mean, easily in the last decade.
Yes, it's nice out there.
The colors, the foliage, I mean, it's warm to fish right now.
And the change happened like overnight, it seemed like.
There's still a few hoppers bumping around out there. I mean, we're in the third week of October. Usually they're whacked by now.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're going to talk about today is really just kind of, philosophical differences when it comes to the destination an angler likes to fish. Okay. So we're going to find out today what your opinion is when it comes to the huge differences between tailwaters and freestones.
Okay.
I
like this topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't a topic that's, pitting a fishery against another fishery. It's not like that. But what it is it's like, I'm a freestone angler. I mean, that's where I like to fish. There's a bunch of reasons why I like to fish freestones. And, one of the country's best tailwaters is 85, miles from where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Let alone the Missouri. I mean, Montana's got a couple of like big time tailwaters that are fucking legit. You just guided all season on one.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm a freestone guy too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, tailwaters have grown on me.
That's where you make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I say that to a lot of younger guides that come in and give me the whole, I'm going to get into guiding. I'm like, are you? I'm like, you better fucking learn the horn.
Yeah.
Because, spring in Montana on a freestone, that is not pretty guiding. Like, that can be fucking no guiding.
For a while, too.
Oh, man, until May.
Yeah.
Until, caddis are popping on Mother's Day. So, to me, to break down tailwaters, number one, at least the few I've been on, which is the Horn, the Platte, they're much easier to row.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing about it.
They're much easier to row. I mean, I'm not saying from a skill set. I mean, obviously, a guy that can effectively, row the Horn can very likely row the Stillwater.
Yeah, in my experience.
But fuck, I mean, what a diff, huh? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say it's easier to row as far as like safety wise and stuff like that.
Oh, by far.
But where the fish are holding is harder to find out. I think they're harder to read.
No, yeah, we'll get for sure. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But just on the surface, I mean, much easier to row. When somebody comes in here and says, I got a raft, I'm ready. I'm like, go to the fucking Horn.
Yeah, you want to learn. Yeah,
don't definitely. Go to the Stilly at 5,000 CFS. You'll die.
I mean, I've only rode a raft a couple times.
Yeah.
On Freestones, and I've never rode the Stillwater, and I don't think I'd be comfortable rowing the Stillwater.
I mean, I can do it, but it's not easy, and I'm not great at it, but I'm not going to probably kill anybody, right?
Yeah,
That's the difference. But the other thing is that most of the tailwaters I've been on, I mean, they're like dramatically easier to wade.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, obviously, you know, the Horn has its moments, but I mean, compared to the Yellowstone, which is an ice skating rink.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, that late summer scuzz was, oh boy, there's not a fucking cleat or a felt outsole that's going to stop that. So, you know, those are two things right there that to me make a tailwater a little bit easier. And speaking of the rowing thing, you know, you guys practice, and this isn't a diss, but you guys practice a row around.
Yeah.
We talked about that, right? That's and you know, and for the 23 people listening to us, if you don't know what a row around is, that's when a professional, a guide, has got a run, an area that he is able to drift through more than once.
Yeah, you go through it, and then you're able to push to the side of the river and row back
and row
up
fucking back upstream.
Run.
Yep, that's right. And it's just because, bam, trout are just sitting in there, right? I mean, it's easy pickings. That's why you do it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
You couldn't do that on any Freestones.
I've done it on the Yellowstone
Oh, you
before.
have?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
But they're few and far between, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about, you know, rowing a Freestone, you have got to be doing something the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
There's never a moment where you're really not rowing back, keeping your position, looking for your line. But, you know, on some fucking tailwaters, you could do that shit blindfolded.
Yeah.
Just fine.
In some spots, you know, taking a drink of water,
Right.
you're still holding your line.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, you know, I'm not, you know, again, I'm not, this isn't a diss on the Horn or tailwaters at all, but it's interesting to me how anglers will ultimately, once they get to the point where they're proficient, they will go to their preferences between Freestones and tailwaters.
Yeah.
They're either one or the other.
Yeah,
right?
Seems like
I mean,
that, yeah.
you're one or the other. I mean, obviously there's some crossover, but I mean, a Yellowstone River guy, somebody that's a local good customer of mine, whomever, you know, he is not going to go to the fucking Bighorn in the summer.
Yeah, they don't want to. They must absolutely have to. You know?
They don't want to. They don't want to. And tell me why they don't want to.
They just prefer the Freestones, I think. You know?
I mean, there's a million fucking people there.
Yeah, the crowd.
I mean, that's the thing.
The Yellowstone can be like that sometimes too.
Yeah, but the Yellowstone spreads boats and it spreads anglers out.
That, you can
does.
pick a section where it's not crowded.
I mean, it's weird. In the dozens of floats that I've been on the Yellowstone, I would say that I'm not sure if I've ever really felt crowded outside of like putting in or taking out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just because, again, Freestones do a lot of volume, a lot of raft volume, a lot of drift boat volume. They get their business, and they're busy now, especially around here.
Yeah.
Right? But from a wading perspective, you can cover a lot more water, in my opinion, on the Bighorn if the wading's right, meaning it's not huge or it's not big, right, as far as flows.
Yeah.
But, you know, you put in a mile on the Bighorn, on the rocks, or you put a mile on the boulder, and I'm sure your legs will feel fucking different.
100%.
I mean, you know, just the fatigue of
those
wading.
Freestones are
Jesus
a lot. And
Lord.
then you talk about
Man.
I don't want to mention the river, but then you talk about rivers that have bigger boulders.
You don't want to mention the river. Did I mention too many there?
No.
Okay.
This is a close river. I mean,
Don't do it.
I'm not going to. But even Freestone to Freestone, there's certain rivers that can really kick your ass. It's they have bigger boulders and, you know, stuff like that.
I call them snotty bowling balls because that's what they fucking are. And, you know, when customers come in and they ask me, felt or rubber, you know, I go right to where you're going to fish.
Yeah.
That's really how I determine if somebody should use felt or rubber. So the value to me in a tailwater over Freestones is the fish can be better. I mean, look at the season you just had, right?
Yeah. We were spoiled this year.
Yes, I know that. I know that. But still, I mean, the end result was over the top good, right?
Yeah.
As far as trout size.
Yeah, definitely. And
right?
numbers.
And numbers. And so the last 5 to 7, 8, 10 years, really prior to the Bighorn kind of resurrecting itself, the Missouri they're all fucking 18, 19 inches.
Yeah.
So again, tailwaters. And you know, and why are the fish consistently bigger in tailwaters over Freestones, in your opinion?
There's an abundance of insects to eat all year long.
Correct. Yes, that's right. I mean, it's bug city.
Yeah.
You got the grass, the vegetation, you've got the bug growth.
You don't get the high water temp and the low water
Sure.
temp.
I mean, that's a great comment, because I mean, I remember when everything in the state of Montana was on hoot owl, which is restricted fishing for, the 23 out there listening to us, except the Bighorn River. And so it does remain very cold through the heat of a Montana summer, doesn't it? Yeah. And that's part of the reason why those fish probably do so well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the bug life, the food, the Bighorn River, and we do have some people listening outside of Montana, but Montana doesn't stock its streams. I mean, let that sink for a second. I mean, Montana does not stock its streams. I love fucking Wyoming, and I love fishing Wyoming, but they'll stock a mud puddle down there. I mean, they'll fucking stock a mud. They will. I mean, it's just it's their mentality is catching.
Yeah.
Right. Their mentality is catching. People buying licenses. They don't want to get fucking skunked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a bunch of fucking fish in this wild fishery. So even though tailwaters seem to produce better and more consistently, it's not because they're getting stocked. It's just because of that bug life. And it's also an easier life, right?
Yeah, a lot less stress.
I mean, you'd think so. I mean...
yeah, you would think so.
Because you've seen fish like move aside and then move back.
Man, there was this 2-foot rainbow that was in the same exact spot for probably 2 months. I would row over every time.
Yeah.
And the same exact spot.
Was this a fucking spawning bed or what, Booty?
No, it was during the summer. It was sitting in like 2-3 feet of water along the bank, and I would row over him every time. The dorsal fin was bitten off. That's how I knew it was the same fish.
Wow.
And every time I'd clockwork, I'd say, look over the boat, and you'll see this fish move. And I'd do row arounds up there. I'd row up.
Yeah.
He just...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, fish don't hang out in the same spot on Freestones, but it's interesting. When you squirt a fish on a Freestone, it's like they're a fucking rocket ship out of there, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's because they're hiding tight. On the Horn, those runs in those trenches and those kind of like ground formation buckets.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. I mean, I'm gonna jump a little bit ahead here, and we'll talk about it in episode 2. But I would say, tailwaters are tougher to fish.
I think reading the water is harder.
I mean, I think that's legit too, but I also think that...
And they're pickier.
Well, they're pickier because they see 9 million fucking boats a year. But here's the other reason. Honestly, you really got to be on your fucking setup game.
Yeah.
You can't be coming to that, with your fucking Snoopy pole, not knowing your weight, not knowing your split shot, not knowing your your short rigs and all that shit you guys do down there now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, fuck. I mean, there's so many different rig setups. So that's a real important part of whether you're an amateur, a guide with a client, or an advanced angler. You really got to know how to set up your from your fly line loop down. You better know your shit, right? All right. Anything else?
I would say that the abundance of bugs in there make it harder to fish as well.
Oh, sure.
All the bugs floating.
Geez,
so
yes.
I would compare it to you got a mountain lake where they're hitting anything.
Yeah.
Then you got a freestone.
Sure.
Right? And the gap from a mountain lake to a freestone is the same from a freestone to a tailwater as far as what bugs you can throw
God,
out.
superb point, Booty. Gotta love
That
having
makes
you here.
sense?
Fuck yeah, it does. Of course it does. I mean, in an alpine setting, they're fucking desperate.
You can throw anything.
They're desperate.
They ain't seeing no bugs up there. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of episode 1. Tailwaters or Freestones. Foul Hooked Whitey is out.